welcome into another episode of the Pain and Panic Podcast. Adam Sheets, Chris Reynolds, as always, with you. It's been a busy sports week. Basketball is underway. Football still in the full swing. Trade deadline coming up in the National Football League. It's been a lot of fun. World Series starts today, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to jump right into it. Start with basketball, then we'll go to football. We're ranking the top 5 quarterbacks as of right now, so we're not using
only given the season.
Lamar's not going to be on the list. Spoiler alert: he hasn't played. We're just this season alone.
Past history does not matter.
No, it does not. And then we're going to do our natural game picks, upset picks, our weekly segments. Then we might touch on some baseball because the best team in baseball is hosting Game 1 of the World Series tomorrow. So it'll be a lot of fun. But let's start with basketball, as we said. NBA season started on Tuesday. It was a great season opener. Shout out NBC. Boy, it was awesome on NBC, bringing back the nostalgia of the 90s. You had the 2 openers, the Thunder dropping the banner. Shout out NBC again, showing the whole ceremony of showing starting lineups, not cutting away from the banner raising like TNT did last year for the Celtics, actually showing the banner raising, which is the whole point. Shout out to them. Had a good game with the Lakers and Warriors. Luka went off. Jimmy Butler was great in that game for the Warriors. And then, of course, every team basically played on Wednesday, yesterday. We're recording on Thursday night. And then right now, the Thunder are playing the Pacers, who are in their first game, and the Nuggets play their first game against the Warriors tonight. But Chris?
And I'll say Adam, too, first. The NBA back at NBC, I wasn't watching in the 90s because I was not alive. But their hype videos with Michael Jordan stuff made me feel nostalgic and miss that era, which I was not even a part of. So great job with their marketing team. Because the pregame stuff was like, yeah, we're back. And I don't even remember it in the first place.
Also, great to have it back. Round Ball Rock, awesome song. But I think the big thing is, and yeah, I'm going to take a shot at ESPN here. Boy, is it nice that the people that talk about the sport on the network actually like basketball. My goodness. Yeah. I even got Inside the NBA has been one of the best NBA shows ever. Shaq didn't know there were 30 teams in the league today.
I do think there's a small problem with Inside the NBA where,
they don't pay attention to basketball.
They're tired of talking about basketball, and they take it out on the players. And I think everyone is on there is glorifying their version of basketball, and everything current sucks compared to what they say. I think that's fair. I think ESPN, it's definitely an improvement. I think Inside the NBA is a great acquisition, but I do see your point.
Yeah. Are you getting text? Your phone keeps vibrating.
I have notifications. I'm sorry. I will mute it. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make sure no one needed you.
No. I have all the scores from what's happening because we can't watch right now.
I'm excited to see what Amazon's going to do. Amazon's the last one to come out of the new media rights deal. That's tomorrow, so excited to see what they do. I expect it's going to look great because I don't know what it is, but just speaking on Thursday Night Football going on right now, the Amazon cameras are beautiful. I don't know what it is about them, but the picture just looks great. But Chris, so we'll just talk about it since we're talking about basketball. It's early. There's not a lot of big picture things you can take away from Game 1.
There are big picture things to take from Game 1.
Sure. But because Jalen Williams didn't play, LeBron didn't play, so there's a lot of guys still missing. We're going to see a lot of change. Last year, Game 1, Luka Doncic was on the Mavs. By February, he was on the Lakers. So a lot can change throughout the year. But what's one big story you saw from Game 1 of the NBA season?
The biggest takeaway from NBA opening night was Victor Wembanyama. He's here. He's in his prime now officially. He's not a rising superstar. No, he is one of the best players in the league. And I think he's officially bona fide star, no longer a young guy. He's just legit. He had 40 points in his opening day. He had a few blocks, a ton of rebounds, was a menace defensively, and offensively, he looked the best he ever has. The highlight of it all, the block shot, it goes down, step back between the legs, step back 3, goes in, and he hit 40 points. He also had a reverse dunk, which for him looks weird because he's so tall. He can do anything on the court right now, and I think his impact is just as big as anyone's. In one game, I know it's an overreaction, but that's the point. But also, when we see young guys doing this, we get excited because we saw flashes of it, but for him to come out opening night, do it, and marks, Wembanyama is here. This is what we wanted when he joined the league. 3rd year in the league so far, and he looks like the full package that we were advertised.
You might think this is a reaction. I think by the end of the year, he has the chance to be the best player in the world.
Yeah, I think, that's what we want. And I think my question at times is we know the defense is going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
just being 7'5", 7'6". It's the offensive game that's kind of been more fluky, and the shooting that he, likes to shoot more than go in the paint. When his shot is going, he is the best player, maybe. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Jokic, you could, at the end of the year, even if he plays amazing, you're still going to be able to argue between him and Jokic or SGA or Luka or Giannis. But he will be in that conversation. Because right now, you're not going to say that he is the best player. But he will enter that tier. And I think as long as he stays healthy, this is the most excited I've been for a player since Luka Doncic.
Yeah, no, he's phenomenal. I think the reason he's going to be maybe flustered into maybe being the best player is simply on, you mentioned it. I mean, Jokic isn't known as an elite defender, and you're talking
Yeah.
about Wemby's going to be the best player, the best defender in the league. So if his offense gets there, where he's scoring, let's say it's 28, 29 points a night with 14 rebounds, talking about 4 blocks a game, you're going to be looking at a stat line. It's going to be like, whoa. That's,
Worst case scenario, he'd be the best two-way player. I know
Yep.
SGA isn't, bad at defense, but he's not great defensively compared to Wembanyama, who's great on both ends. Jokic, we know, isn't. Giannis, very good defender, but
injuries has
isn't.
taken him back a lot. Yeah.
Injuries, yeah, he isn't the same defensive player of the year that he used to be. And then Luka, obviously not. So at the very least, I expect Wembanyama to be the best two-way player in the league, maybe the best player overall.
Yeah, nope, agree 100%. I don't know where
every time you agree with me, Adam, I really just take pride. It's a rare
Well,
moment. Usually,
I love
me
Wemby.
on.
I love
Yeah.
Wemby because I got really mad during the draft coverage this year when people were talking about Cooper Flagg being this once in a generation prospect, and I'm like, we had one 2 years ago, so I don't think it's that special, but okay. And he's not Wemby, so I didn't understand why.
Not everyone's a skilled 7'5" guy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good forwards from Duke.
Wemby
Also,
was the best since LeBron, and he's going to be the best for a long time. Prospect, just prospects.
It's LeBron. Since LeBron, it's Wemby. Flag might be second or third. Zion in hindsight, we're like, what? But at the time, there was so much hype around him.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when I talk about quarterback prospects, and Trevor Lawrence is up there. It hasn't really shown on the field in the NFL, but as a prospect, I mean, he was about as blue chip as it gets. So
yeah, it was he was the best since Andrew Luck. I remember that being.
And Andrew Luck was the best since Peyton Manning, and then before that was John Elway. They don't come around prospect wise. So yeah, Wemby's going to be up there for a long time. Don't know who's going to be able to touch him in the future. Someone will be up there in that conversation at some point, but
real quick about Cooper Flagg. He almost started his career in the best way with a steal and then an alley-oop almost. Tomahawks it, just misses the dunk. By the way, my mom said she did not like it. She thought he was showing off. I said, they lobbed it up to him. He was dunking.
Let it go.
I thought he was showboating. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Okay. It would have been the best first bucket since LeBron. Because he had the steal and dunk against Sacramento. He had the steal and the big dunk in transition. Everyone's like, he's here.
Alert everyone, Gina's not in a Cooper Flagg. He's a showboater. But we can move on from basketball. The other thing I wanted to mention.
I didn't even get to mention anything yet. Wow.
I was going to say, the other thing I want to talk about is the betting scandals came out this morning.
Yeah.
Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups look like they're arrested by the FBI, which,
they are arrested by the FBI. It doesn't look like it. They are.
Adam. I read that and I'm like, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother was under investigation and then they banned him. I didn't realize these guys were going to be under FBI arrest. But, I mean, I read the Terry Rozier story of what they're saying happened. He said, bet the under, and then he left in the first quarter due to an injury. And then that day, all these people bet the under on him, his friends and whatever. And then the next day, they're counting the cash they made. And then, that seems like it's a pretty obvious thing of one day there's a spike in Terry Rozier unders and it leaves the mystery injury. Not the best look, hard to prove otherwise. Not looking good for Scary Terry.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to say is a lot of people are linking these two together. They're completely separate things. Terry's was betting on the NBA. Chauncey Billups was an illegal poker game, maybe or maybe not at Gilbert Arenas' house. Have you seen that stuff coming out about Gilbert?
I
Gilbert
saw that
Are-
his was a poker thing, and I was like,
well,
I don't know.
yeah, Gilbert Arenas got arrested in July for hosting illegal poker games that may have been connected to the mafia and dirty money, and now Chauncey Billups got arrested. Gilbert Arenas walked out of jail on August 1st and kind of hinted that he was ready to blow the whole thing up, like rat out everybody. And then he showed up today and with like he had a bag that said informant lunch. I mean, Gilbert, this stuff's really fresh, so I don't know if I'd be bragging about ratting out Chauncey Billups and what was.
I mean, his guy came out and said like he's not going to sacrifice the integrity of the league. So I'm like, are they saying there's basketball stuff? I don't really understand.
I have no idea.
I don't know either. But the
look,
Terry Rozier one, I'm kind of. If those facts are true, I mean that's.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. But my biggest takeaway, and we'll get back to basketball. There's our behind the like outside the lines esque story of the day. But back to basketball. There's a lot I could talk about. My Jazz winning game 1 by 21. Walker Kessler was literally perfect, which means they're probably going to maybe get an extra second round pick for him when Danny inevitably trades him because he's going to trade him at some point for some reason. But for me, I think there's a lot to like digest about it. Skinny Luka looked great.
Yeah.
Skinny Luka looked really, really good. But the one thing, I'll talk about him, the Sixers. I mean, they won a game where Joel Embiid scored 4 points. Like, that's, when he's on the floor, that's, like, crazy to think. Tyrese Maxey goes for 40. VJ Edgecombe breaks Allen Iverson's franchise record, because Wilt's records don't count. But record for points in their first career game. So, I mean, they looked really good. Now, them being able to continue this for a whole season is going to be the question. But through game 1, now you have a young backcourt with Edgecombe and Maxey, and maybe Jared McCain's going to be able to come back and fit in there as well. Makes them really small. Like, if they play all three of them at the same time, they're really small. But they have an opportunity. So I think as I said, going into this year, they're maybe the most intriguing team, because if they stay healthy in a weak East, what can they do? And look at them now. They have a chance to look really good.
I don't really want to give the Sixers much hope or credit. I love my boy Joe Tooman. Not buying into the Sixers hype. I'm not a big rookie guy. So, I'm not going to give you my thoughts on Edgecombe after one game. I think that's a great sign for them that they now have future hope. The issue now is you're paying Joel Embiid a lot of money. And that's kind of difficult to build a team around when you're paying the superstar a max deal who may or may not be healthy. And Paul George is under contract for long term.
That's the one you guys should have talked about more than
Embiid.
The
Embiid one's just as big. Embiid has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, but Embiid's still, good when he plays.
4 points, Adam. I don't know. I'm just saying,
they won.
They won, but I'm saying they have two guys that have gigantic contracts. They have Maxey and Edgecombe, and it's like, and then we talked about just McCain is young. They're a weird timeline team now. I feel like they either blow it up and go young, or I guess they could try to compete now with younger guys.
I think they can compete. I think they compete this year. Just
the
because
issue is if they compete this year, it's a lot of pressure for the young. Well, I guess Maxey isn't that young anymore.
Yeah, Maxey's played in multiple playoffs.
He's played in big things, but I just keep thinking of Embiid. Like if the Sixers go in trying to compete with Embiid in this young core, and Embiid gets hurt and all falls apart, it's going to be terrible. But if you're in your mind, you're like, we're a young team building around Edgecombe. That's going to make you feel better.
Well, no, I just think they're going to play this year out because, like I said, you can't move Embiid now. Like, that contract's not movable in season. It's going to have to be out of season. So, you see what happens. But, no, I think, I said, they're the most intriguing team. I'm still not picking them to win the title. They're just intriguing, and the rookies made it. Edgecombe and Maxey playing well early makes them just be like, oh, maybe they could do something if they stay healthy, and that's, of course, the biggest if in sports.
I also will say they probably have the biggest gap between floor and ceiling of
oh yeah,
possibly could make the conference finals or miss the playoffs completely. Also, I think the Thunder are going to double overtime.
Yes, they are. Yep, they are again.
Second straight game to open a year. I don't know if that's a record, but they might be the first team to go to double overtime to start the season.
I don't think there's many double overtime games in a season, so it's almost has to be.
I know they get back to back to start the year. That's crazy.
Well, we shouted out NBA on NBC. I'm going to say the refs did it because they were on NBC. They let the boys play in that season opener, Thunder Rockets. Thunder attempted 41 free throws in regulation. We're back.
And that's because the best referee in basketball was reffing that game, Adam.
Oh, was he? Tony Brothers?
Yeah. My
Yeah,
boy Tony Brothers, a
you
good friend
like
of the
Tony Brothers,
show.
yeah.
Friend of the show. We met in Disney. He asked me how to get to Epcot, and I looked at him, and I immediately was like, "Oh my god, I know this guy. He's a ref." And then he wore like this NBA shirt. It's my favorite story. To him and Rick Lopez, both, and Tim Legler, all of them at Disney. I loved it. So Tony Brothers, friend of the show. Shout out to my boy.
Legs is calling the game right now.
I know. He came up
Back
to
on the
my
A crew.
point. I asked him, I said, "How you doing?" He said, "Good." And then I got so scared. Did not say
Yeah.
a word.
But SGA's attempted 35 free throws through the first 2 games, and he's probably going to attempt more as this game goes to double overtime. So
Yeah, this game was rough.
yeah. All right. So that's the basketball coverage. We'll hop in and out. Like I said, we might be adding some Wednesday episodes once there's bigger basketball stories and we can get a full episode out of it. So we'll make sure to keep you posted because we like to talk about basketball as well.
Too, like, we had Chargers Vikings today. Right now, that's a blowout. I might finish closer, but
It's not. The Chargers are about to score again.
yeah. But like in my personal life, my hope all day was to watch a Thursday Vikings Chargers game, and if that wasn't a good game, it'd be sad. But now we have basketball that just like gives you a floor of some enjoyment, something to watch, even if the football game isn't great. Which is the best time, Adam. It's really great.
Well,
And if the Mets were in the postseason, this would be a great time for me.
Yeah, but they're not.
They're not. We can now go to basketball. We have a fun segment
Well,
planned.
we're not going to we are leaving basketball.
Football.
There you go,
Sorry.
buddy. All right, okay. We're going to football now. The Chargers are up 31-10 with 12 minutes and 42 seconds left. So let's just say they're going to get the win. I don't think Carson Wentz is, maybe making the greatest comeback in NFL history in the last 12 minutes and 42 seconds.
Maybe.
I'm just going to throw it out there and say they're not. The only time they scored a touchdown is when they started with the ball on the 22-yard line. So not holding out hope for Minnesota. Hurts me because that was my upset pick this week. I didn't say it on the show, but that was my upset pick because I don't see.
I'm really happy you texted me that pick, and I was like, they're gonna get destroyed.
I was hoping they'd cover because I looked at the spreads this week. I actually have a guess for what your upset pick's going to be. We'll get there when we get there. But anything you want to say about this Chargers game? Chargers bounce back after a tough stretch with all the injuries, but they're able to get a big win here to get to 5-3. It looks like.
I would love to do some big thing about Herbert and the Chargers, but I really think it's this simple. When they have at least one great tackle of Slater or Alt, and they could just protect Herbert and give him some time, they're a great team. If they can't give Herbert a ton of time, they're a below average team. It's really all about giving Herbert time. Under pressure, he's a completely different quarterback. We see Joe Alt's back, they kick butt, and they destroy the Vikings. He was gone, and they were on a terrible slide. So I think some things are simple. Obviously protection is important for every quarterback, but Herbert especially goes from a top tier quarterback to a maybe average quarterback without that.
Yeah, get an easy game next week. They play the Titans in Tennessee, which after long rest, you think that would be a good sign for LA. But yeah, I think they're I said the Falcons are the most inconsistent team, which they still are, but the Chargers, a lot of ebb and flows for this team, especially Justin Herbert, kind of a little bit of a roller coaster for him. So,
yeah.
No, but it's a good win. They needed it because, the Chiefs are charging on. The Chiefs look like they're going to have not going to say it's an automatic win, but they play the Commanders on Monday night. No Jaden Daniels, so they're definitely going to be at an advantage going into that game. Of course, the Broncos are off to kind of flying through. They get the Cowboys this week, so, you kind of needed this to stay in that division race, so a big win for LA. I don't got much to say. I've kind of said my spiel on Justin Herbert. I said I'll see it. I'll wait to believe it until I see it, and I still haven't seen it through a full season yet. So we're going to see what happens. He already has doubled his interception total from last year. So, and he threw another one today. So he's just been turning the ball over. So, yeah, but now we'll move on. Chris, you mentioned we have a very nice segment this week. So we're going to rank the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL at this moment. We're not using any past lives, anything like that, previous season knowledge. So we're going to rank the top 5. So I had some guys that I had just off my list. Chris, did you have anyone you wanted to mention as an honorable mention? I have 4 of them. I have a lot of guys.
The only guy that I had that I did not have on my list that I wanted to mention that I'm sure you do because I know you love him. And honestly, last week or 2 weeks ago, we did a segment calling him MVP. Baker Mayfield has really bothered me the last 2 weeks. I know they have a lot of injuries, but last game against the Lions, he was pretty bad. He was missing a lot of wide open Igbuka throws, and then the week before that, he kept throwing behind Igbuka. And someone who has Igbuka in fantasy, I notice it so much more when he misses my wide open player, and it really was bothering me. Against the Lions, they looked just completely lost, and had Mike Evans for the first half. They had Ibuka, and they could not do anything against a depleted line secondary. And it's not that I'm not out on Baker. He's my 6. That's still very good. But the 5 ahead of him, I just cannot put lower than him. I'm sorry. Those other ones had to be in my top 5. Baker was the hard cut.
At Baker high because I don't know why you can judge him off one game when everybody in the league has one bad game. So I don't know what.
It was a bad game against the Lions. And I think it's the Niners. He really was bad except for the one run. And then even before that, like
the Tez Johnson throw.
In the clutch, he becomes amazing, but these other guys are amazing all 4 quarters.
Yeah, the Tez Johnson touchdown pass, 45 yards in the air. I agree.
Listen, if the game's on the line, he's been playing top 5, but the whole game, there's just other guys. I'm sorry.
I have 4 guys that I have just off my list.
Oh
my
God,
Josh Allen, not on my list.
Correct. Same for me.
Kind of been up and down this year. I think we've seen the flashes, but been up and down. Another guy not on my list, Dak Prescott. I really wanted to put him on my list, but I wasn't able to do so.
Dak Prescott not being on your list is probably the biggest shock to me, considering he might look the best he ever has. Statistically, he's probably 1 or 2, and I know that's a product of his defense being bad, but he looks great. He's throwing the ball right to the guys in the perfect spot that only they could catch it. I think if they had a competent defense, and they were winning half the games, he'd probably be the MVP leader right now.
Yeah, but I do got to punish a guy who scored 13 points and lost to the Bears and also has a loss to the Panthers. Got to punish him a little bit.
I'm not punishing him for the Panthers loss because Rico Dowdle ran all over that team. And
the Bears lost?
The Bears loss is the only loss on the Cowboys that confused me because I was like,
Another guy, Sam Darnold. Just off my list. Like Sam Darnold. I think he's playing really, really well. Know I'm really high on his wide receiver. I had him in my top 5 a couple weeks ago, and it just keeps aging better and better. He's on his way to leading the league in receiving. So he's close to that 2,000-yard mark, which is on pace for, which would be insane. But JSN, so I mean...
I did not see the JSN rise coming this year.
I was ready.
I had questions about it. I admit it. He proved me wrong.
I was ready. Sam Darnold with an elite receiver. Maybe that's the path because he had Jefferson last year and now he's got JSN. Like, get him weapons and the dude can play. So maybe that's the path. And then Jared Goff, another guy just off my list. I feel like he's the number 1 of the game manager, do everything you need to do. He's maybe the best in the game at it right now, and he never does too much. He scores when they need it. He executes that offense as well as anybody. So I'm just off my top 5.
Completely agree about Goff. That's why I don't have him in my top 5. The top 5 guys I feel like have played the most consistent and have won their team games, and they only have maybe 1 bad game. And Baker's last game was his worst game, and it probably just sticks in my mind more. If it was week 1, maybe I'd forgive it more so.
Exactly. Preach. All right, go ahead, buddy. Who do you got at 5?
My number 5. Hold on. My number 5, he had a rough start, but I think the last 3 games he's looked amazing. Maybe the best. Drake May. I know he's young, but he starting with that game where he went up against, who'd he go up against that? Oh, the Bills. Starting with the Bills game, Drake May just started looking like a completely different quarterback. On the run, he's making all these throws, taking hits, but staying up in there, completing the throw. He looks phenomenal. His deep ball has been insane. And even with Ramondre Stevenson fumbling the ball away every single time, it feels like, he's been really good. Destroyed the Titans, also beat the Saints really well, and had a great ball that game, deep ball that game as well.
I couldn't agree with you more, buddy. He's my number 5.
Oh, that's it.
I have Drake May as well.
I did not think he'd be in your top 5.
Nope, I love Drake May. Love Drake May. You know I'm big on New England quarterbacks. Love Mac Jones. Drake May is my boy, so like I'm big on these guys. But he's been really, really good. You can see that jump in year 2. You're really seeing that with him. I mean, you look at the yards. He's averaging about 250 yards per game through the air, 12 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions, which is huge for a young quarterback in that offense with Mike Vrabel and the defense they have. He's been really good. He's finding Stephon Diggs, using Hunter Henry and the tight ends really well. So, I think he's been great. I think he hit a lot of it on the head there. And, I mean, he's continuing to ascend, and on a team that, could be frisky and maybe a weak AFC trying to fight for that wild card spot as the Bills are most likely going to win the division. He's right up there. So I have him as 5 as well.
Yeah, and update, Carson Wentz threw another interception.
Let's go, baby. I gotta have to take him off my list now. Dang it.
All right, number 4. If you told me before the season this guy would be in the top 5 quarterbacks just this season, I'd be stunned. But he made it. Number 4, Daniel Jones. Give him respect. I think this exercise, you try forgetting their past. It's really hard to neglect it. He might honestly be top 3. I just can't, in my mind, have him in the top 3. But number 4, Daniel Jones. He's been great. He gets the skilled players the ball. That's all they need him to do. He does it accurately. He does it quickly. He's barely taking any sacks, which is a huge improvement of what used to be the problem. Jonathan Taylor's running the ball amazing. I know that helps. He has Tyler Ward, who's been phenomenal. Michael Pittman's been really good. Alec Pierce gets open deep. It's the perfect setup for him, but he's executing it the best as possible. Have to give him his credit.
Good. I'll get to him when I get to him. But my number 4, Matthew Stafford, the quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. He's third in the league in passing right now. He's averaging about 266 yards per game, 17 touchdowns, just the 2 interceptions. Just had a 5-touchdown, no-pick game against the Jags. He's been really good. Take Puka out, they were great against the Jags defense. He's been, throwing the ball all around. He's really been dragging this offense along when they've needed to. They haven't had a consistent run game, and he's really stepped up in a big way, using Devontae Adams, using Puka Nacua. He's one of the guys that, kind of like we said about Sam Darnold, about getting him weapons. Well, you get Matthew Stafford weapons with the talent he has, he's going to be great. So, no, I got Stafford in my number 4. He had some games, he played great, but did have the loss to San Francisco. The second half against Philly wasn't good, but no, he's been sensational, and I have him at number 4, especially when you look at before the season. I mean, people thought he might not play because of all the injury concerns. I thought he was just resting in the preseason, but apparently that's what he was doing because he has been dealing since he came back.
Yeah, considering it was like a back injury, that was kind of concerning, but he's been phenomenal. I'll get to him soon. I had Daniel Jones lower than him just because I thought Stafford last game, Stafford statistically to Daniel Jones, I don't think it's a comparison because Stafford has more yards and Daniel Jones just doesn't have as much touchdowns, but he's still decent. But Stafford racks up the yards and has the impact, and I think more relies on Stafford. But very good. I like Stafford. I'll get to him later. My number 3, it sounds bad because of the name, but I think it's an honor to be here. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes. He's done a lot as a runner this year, and they got off to a slow start, but once, they got their weapons back, and especially now with Rashee Rice, they look amazing. Patrick Mahomes is now fueling a high-power offense. This is what we wanted to see. We know he's had this in him. It's been kind of boring the last few years. That 1 week against the Raiders, the Rashee Rice, got me completely inspired again about the Chiefs. He's been statistically amazing, but also his impact is there. And I think we all should have seen this coming off a big loss. We would have thought, Mahomes, he's a competitive guy. He's going to come out and have one of his best seasons ever. And the Chiefs look like they're the favorite so far to win the Super Bowl. So he's back, number 3 for me.
No, my number 3 is a guy you had at number 4. I got Daniel Jones at my number 3 spot. I think you mentioned a lot of good things. I think, no one expected him to be on this list coming into the year, but he is executing the Shane Steichen offense about as good as you can. He's allowing Jonathan Taylor to eat. He's getting the ball out quick. He's not taking sacks. He's not turning the ball over. He's doing everything you ask a quarterback to be with the weapons he has. He doesn't have an elite receiver with him, but he's using the tight ends. He's using the running backs. He's getting the ball out, like I said, and I think all those things have been really important and extremely valuable for the Colts to be able to continue to win. They have the best record in football, and he's been a big reason why. It's kind of a Sam Darnold last year-esque type season for him. So, no, I got him at number 3, and I think everything you mentioned was really good, and I'm excited to see. I'm still a little weary. Pumpkin mode might be coming into effect, but still a little weary. But I'm a little more confident than I was a couple weeks ago.
I don't think it's going to be like a pumpkin type of deal where, clock strikes midnight. I think it's just going to be get to the playoffs, and you're like, are we really going to bank on Daniel Jones? And I think
it's Sam Darnold again. It's just Sam Darnold again.
Well, Sam Darnold, we saw week 18 last year, just completely got destroyed by a blitz, and then other teams were like, he can't handle the pressure. Daniel Jones, I think they could go to the playoffs. I think he can still play well, and they might lose. People might be like, oh, you can't win with Daniel Jones, but I don't think it's going to be this fall off unless it's something crazy.
My fear is the health of Jonathan Taylor. He's got to stay healthy because if they lose him, there goes the offense.
Yeah. Next for me, my number 2 is Matthew Stafford. His worst game I was probably against the Niners, but he actually still played decent there. It was more like a fumble by Kyron Williams kind of cost them that game, and then a blocked field goal. Otherwise, it would have won, and I wouldn't have even thought about it. And then last week against your Jags, Adam, goes to London. Weird things usually happen there. Usually it's weird, can't get offense going. He went out there without Puka Nacua and got 5 touchdowns. You mentioned it. I have to respect that. He racks up yards, and he might be leading the league in touchdowns after that performance. So he's been great. Stafford in at number 2.
Yep. Everything you said, I agree. He does lead the league in passing touchdowns. Don't know when you add rushing touchdowns if someone's ahead of him, but yep, leads the league in passing touchdowns, as you said. Number 2 is a guy we kind of talked about in your honorable mention. I got Baker Mayfield. I'm not going to overreact. I had him an MVP last week, so I can't drop him completely out of my top 5 just off of one bad game. So I'm going to keep him at number 2 here. I think he's been great. I think you look at all the game-winning drives. You look at the games they've been able to win. The win against Seattle. You got the win against Houston with the game-winning drive. You got the win against Atlanta week 1 when he hit Igbuka for the touchdown. You got driving the field down against the Jets after the blocked field goal being returned for a touchdown. They've just found ways to win, and Baker's been a huge reason why. I think he's been great, and you look at all the guys he's lost, and just to continue to be able to truck forward, he's been sensational. So I got Baker Mayfield at my number 2 spot.
We mentioned it. I just think for him, it's the end of the game moments have made him look like number 1. But I think overall the last 2 games, it's been a little bit more inaccurate. And I think we're seeing the injuries start to hurt him more. And I just feel like he's trending down. Maybe right now he'd be 5 for me. But I could not leave off Drake May with what he's showing. I could not. Who do I have? I think the difference is I'm going to have Dak on my list and you have Baker. What I think Dak is doing, I think with no defense, I just value the fact this Herculean effort to carry his terrible defense. I value that. And I think Baker, to me, there was a top 6 and then a cutoff. I just don't have him. I'm sorry.
So I just want to ask you something. You mentioned the stats and, the game-winning drives. Chris, who do you think the greatest quarterback of all time is?
Drew Brees.
Oh, yeah, Drew Brees. Oh, then we're not talking game-winning drives, I guess. I was thinking more, Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's probably Tom Brady.
The stats never looked really good.
Drew
but at the
Brees
end of the game,
plenty of game-winning drives.
But at the end of the game, you give Tom Brady the ball, you kind of know what's happening. Baker took over for Tom Brady, and he's starting to get that little. No matter what happens, you give him the ball down 1 score, a chance to win the game. He's going to go down and he's going to do it. It seems like. So.
Last week he was down by more than 1 score. Also, Thunder beat the Pacers by 6 in double OT. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander 55 points.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a second. Just a quick tangent. Does the Thunder hate the Warriors? Because they won the 6 minutes to go in the second quarter again.
Yeah. I was really excited for that Nuggets-Warriors game, and then we couldn't even... I'm not going to be able to watch, the first half anyway.
6 minutes!
Yeah, I know. But no, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander balled out and shot a lot of free throws, but...
Sounds about right. All right. You want to get to Dak Prescott, who you have at number 1?
Yeah, I have Dak. I mentioned it before. No defense, but he is playing the best football in terms of a quarterback throwing a ball to the receiver. Executing the game plan. I think Dak is doing that the best possible since Joe Burrow last year when he had no defense. He looks the best. Every time he's throwing the ball to Pickens, that catch he made against Lattimore last week on the sideline, it was a perfect throw. Lattimore has kind of been getting cooked this year. But that one, it wasn't even his fault. I felt bad for the guy. I like Pickens a lot, but I feel bad for Lattimore. And he's playing right on him, but right over the head of Pickens, right in his hands. Perfect. And he has a ton of receivers to help. I know that might take away from Dak's case, but he's getting the guys the ball really well. CeeDee's back. He looks phenomenal. Dak Prescott is completely just giving a buffet to the best receivers in the league, just giving them all they can eat, and they're just an amazing offense. If their defense was competent, they'd probably be above 500.
Yeah. Well, Dak's been great. My number 1, Patrick LaVon Mahomes II. Is my number 1. I think going into this week, he was number 2 in total yards. When you include rushing yards, he was behind Justin Herbert, who I'm going to put a huge asterisk next to him being in the lead going into this week. He threw for 400 yards in garbage time against the Colts, so a lot of them inflated with that. He's been great. I think you look at, he was without his top 2 receivers for a lot of the beginning of the season. You saw those struggles early in the year, but he had the game against the Giants where he bounced back in the second half. The second half offense Patriots looked really good, and then they've really taken off ever since. The Ravens game, the Lions game. They're really good offensively outside of the 99-yard pick six against the Jags. They were really good, this past week against the Raiders. They were basically perfect. They really didn't even try to do anything. They were just like, we'll just go drive down the field and score touchdowns every time we get the ball because we can. So they're back to having fun. They look like the Chiefs again, and he's been a big reason why, because one thing you mentioned that Dak's overcoming a defense. Patrick's overcoming having zero run game whatsoever. He's the leading rusher on his team, it feels like, every single game, and he's finding ways to win, and they continue to score touchdowns, and they look like the Chiefs again, and everyone's like, we're back. The Chiefs are going to win it all. And all it took was a couple games, and Patrick's got the team back to humming. So I got Mahomes at number 1.
For me, it's just tough because I feel like, the whole season, I wouldn't put him number 1, but lately he has played great. I think week 1, Chargers, whatever. Eagles game, I think he wasn't really the problem. Giants, he honestly didn't play great, but it was really more of a team thing. He's really looked great against the Ravens, against the Lions, and against the Raiders. The Jags game, he had a
played
good game,
unbelievable, and
Adam,
he had one pick
he lost the game. He threw a terrible pick 6 at the end of the game.
In the third quarter, he also had the drive to win the game, and then Trevor took him back. Like, you do realize he scored he left the field with the lead.
Listen, you threw a terrible pick 6 in a game you lost by 1 score.
How much did you watch of that game? Because you didn't watch much. I think Sada was here.
Well, if she was here, then I think what happened was I watched the first half, and then in the second half, I watched the final drive.
Exactly.
And then I had to go back and watch that pick 6, and it was terrible.
You saw my text. I was texting. I said, Mahomes is going to win the game. He's been unbelievable, and he was unbelievable the whole game. So
listen, he was not unbelievable on that pick 6 throw. You march all the way down the field, just throw a pick 6.
Throw a pick 6 to the defensive player of the year. That's just how it works sometimes. Devin Lloyd's that guy. He's been. The game Matthew Stafford lit up the game Matthew Stafford lit up the Jags. You know who didn't play?
Travis Hunter.
Devin Lloyd didn't play. Travis Hunter had his best game against the Rams.
In garbage time. If you're going to ding Herbert, I'm going to ding Travis Hunter.
I will too, but he had his best game statistically. His first career touchdown in London. Come on, baby. He didn't play defense, so I can't really judge him for that. So
yeah, they need to figure out how to use him consistently. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's what the bye week's for. Yeah. All right, but there's our top 5 list. I think, as Chris mentioned, I think with those top 6, 7 guys, you can kind of maneuver them around. And obviously, we're saying this is as of right now, that we're not projecting.
Just this season.
Yeah, we're not projecting. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones is going to take the Colts as the 3rd best quarterback come to the playoffs, because I'm telling you now, I'm not going to say that.
I'm all in. I'm all in.
Top 3. Because, Mahomes, Josh Allen's going to be in there. You're number 1, Dak Prescott probably won't be in there.
As great as Josh Allen is and Lamar, they've had the quietest season. I know Lamar got hurt, but even Josh Allen, last year they were the whole story, and this year I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about those guys. Daniel Jones is bigger than them right now, but
yeah. Yep.
All right. We used up 40 minutes. We got fly.
All right, upset of the week, Chris. I already picked mine. I took the Vikings. That didn't work out. Do have a bonus one for you because I'm trying to win you guys some money. We don't have any gambling rules on this show. Take in college football. Take number 20 LSU to upset number 3 Texas A&M. Why? Death Valley at night. That's all you need to know. Brian Kelly, 19-1 in night games. Chris, his only losses to Alabama last year. It also makes me mad as a Penn State fan. I love our night games. Brian Kelly's had 20 night games in 4 years. This will be his 21st. They always play at night. Penn State's stuck at noon. I like big noon kickoffs, so I'm not going to complain too much. But yeah, LSU over A&M's my bonus pick. Not going to get any points for it, but just helping the listener out.
Penn State really has a tough time with their games because if it's noon, it's just too early. And then if it's
not.
It is because it's like you don't show up to the game at noon. You show up to the game and you're like there at 9. It's just a pain.
Well, that's a you guys problem. I'd like to show up at noon. I like go in, get the game, get done, party afterwards.
No, we can't.
Drink your sorrows away. That's just how it works.
Done. After the game, I'm dead. But all right, my upset pick, Adam. I'm gonna going right at you. Last week, you're against me and the Saints. Saints versus Bucks. Give me the Saints right now. They're plus 4.5. The game's in New Orleans. It's a division game. The Saints are coming off a bad loss in a outdoor things. Rattler looked terrible. I think this is one of Rattler's kind of in he's shown signs, but he's not winning. And I think the Saints want to see more out of him. He kind of has to step it up or else they might go to Tyler Shuck. I think Rattler's going to have a bounce back game. The offense thinks it's going to look good. And it's a division game against a beat up Bucs team in New Orleans. There's not many normal division games in New Orleans. They usually kind of get wonky. And even if the Saints lose, I don't see them losing by more than a field goal. So give me the Saints plus 4.5.
Wow, you're picking against your favorite team in the division the way you talk about them every week. I can't believe that.
Stop it.
Interesting for you to take the Saints. I actually had a prediction. I tried to predict who you were going to pick this week. I honestly thought you were going to just because how boring you usually are. I thought you'd just take the Niners plus 1.5 against Houston.
I almost did. And I
know.
thought,
Yep.
I thought to myself that, or I think it's 2.5, at least last
Oh,
I
wow,
looked.
you got an extra point. Oh, boy.
I know, but I was like, you know what? Like, Mac Jones each week kind of looks worse and worse. And I was
Could
like,
be Brock Purdy this week. It could.
it could be, but even then, it's an injured Brock Purdy. I was like, give me the Saints. I think they're actually bounce back. And also, the 4.5 to 2.5, that's a big difference with that field goal. So give me the Saints.
Yeah, that very, very true. All right, time to game picks, Chris. Jets at Bengals. Do you still want to make me go first here, or do you?
No, I'm going first this week.
Okay.
Listen, I picked the Jets last week. I will never do it again. Give me the Bengals. The Bengals look great. The Jets are terrible. I don't even know who's going to be their quarterback. I don't think they know yet because Tyrod's questionable. Either way, give me the Bengals by a lot.
Could be Jameis. Could be Jameis. Flip locker rooms. You never know. I'm taking the Bengals as well. Joe Flacco looked great last week. Big thing here, rest. Long week for the Bengals. They played on Thursday night, so they've had a lot of rest. It's a home game for them, so give me the Bengals. Bears at Ravens. Lamar is back. This was a big spread here, 6.5 for a team that's won one game this year. Chris, who do you got? Ravens, Bengals. Or Ravens, Bears, my pardon.
I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm assuming Lamar is definitely playing. I hope he's not still hurt, but I think he would have been fine, but they had the bye week, so they just kind of gave him the extra rest. Give me the Ravens. I don't think Caleb has looked good that many games. I even think last week, even though they beat the Saints, Caleb wasn't one of the best players in that game. So give me the Ravens.
Nah, Caleb looked bad last week. Give me the Ravens as well. This is as must win of a must win as the Ravens had in a long time. Like they need to win this game to stay in that division.
Every game is going to be a must win for them at this point.
When you're 1-5, the division might help you out this week, but you're 1-5, you need to catch up. So big game for them. Give me the Ravens here. Dolphins at Falcons. Chris, this is your favorite team, the Miami Dolphins. You're a big Tua guy. You're a big Mike McDaniel guy. So obviously you're going to take the Dolphins here, right?
I took the Dolphins under 4.5 wins going into the year. I was so anti-Dolphins. And guess what, Adam? That's looking great right now because they're terrible. And last week you picked them in the cold, windy conditions of Cleveland. That was a terrible decision on you.
I thought Devon A-Chain would eat, bro. I thought Devon A-Chain would eat.
No, because the Dolphins have never done well in any negative or tough weather. Give me... Who are they even playing after? Oh, the Falcons. Oh, Falcons at home are great, by the way. The Dolphins not at home usually are bad. The Dolphins, it is indoors, which helps the Dolphins, but it helps the Falcons more. Give me the Falcons. Also, Bijan against the Dolphins run defense.
Here's all you need to know. Last week I called the Falcons the most inconsistent team in the NFL, especially offensively. Well, what'd they do last week, Chris? What'd they do against the Niners? Horrible, right? That means they're gonna be back. It's up and down. They were down, so that means they got to come back up. So
Adam, are the Dolphins ever really good? It feels like it's consistently negative.
They had the decent game against the Bills. Remember, they only lost by 9 points on Thursday Night Football. They beat the Jets. Big win on Monday Night Football. So
yeah, their one win is against the Jets. Congratulations.
Falcons were down, so they're going to come back up here. Falcons get the win. Could be a dominant win for them, but sometimes they like to mess around.
Oh yeah, no, you're saying the Falcons are consistent. I got you.
I was talking about the Falcons here. I want to talk about the Dolphins. Come on now, we're done talking about the Dolphins. All right, Bills Panthers. Interesting game. So, Chris, I'll interest you. The Meow Mix podcast. We talked about this on Monday. The Meow Mix podcast. They did not do an episode this week. Panthers 3-0 without the Meow Mix podcast. They're undefeated in home games this year, Chris. They get the Bills coming in off a bye. Who do you got?
If the Bills were 5-1 or 6-1 or something, you could maybe talk me into it. The issue is the Bills are coming off of 2 straight losses and the Patriots are looking good. The Bills kind of have to step it up. The Panthers are not good enough to beat the Bills if the Bills are firing at full strength. They are very dinged up right now. The Panthers are very good at home, surprisingly, and they're above 500. Who would have thought? I want to pick against the Bills, but I'm just not gonna do it. Especially because we're just picking the winner, not even the spread. Give me the Bills.
Yeah. Meow Mix podcast really almost swayed me here to pick the Panthers, but I'm not going to do it. Bryce Young's banged up. Bryce Young might not play in this game. Could be Andy Dalton, which I think is a
might help
concern.
them, Adam.
No, I don't think it will because Bryce is not turning the ball over. Andy might turn the ball. The Red Rocket does. He's called the Red Rocket for a reason. You saw one of his most famous plays is that pick six to Buda Baker when he turned around. So no, Bills.
I was watching that game live, and Adam.
What? You all right? What, the Red Rifle? Hey, the Red Rocket's a great episode of South Park, by the way.
We'll talk off the air, but what...
Chris, I know what a Red Rocket is.
Okay, I thought about the context that I heard it in, and yeah. All right.
He might do some things at home. I don't know. I mean, there's some things. He might have some fun. I don't know. I don't know what he's into.
Tell him you should change his nickname to that. That might help.
He might get more playing time. I'll tell you that, especially in the. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
All right, next game. Move on.
Niners at Texans here. Chris, we kind of talked about this. I thought this was gonna be your upset pick, but you seemed a little hesitant to take the Niners.
Nah, give me the Niners. I think they're gonna win, but just the Saints I like to spread more. But no, give me the Niners. I think the Texans we see their defense is great, their offense is terrible. We've seen that every week. The Niners look like Christian McCaffrey's maybe the only player offensively playing better than Jonathan Taylor. So I just can't really count them out when every single time they need a play, they go to McCaffrey, and he's been able to do that for them this year.
One fear, Texans defense could keep them in it at home. Must-win game for the Texans, but I'll take the Niners as well. I'd imagine Brock's back. I don't know, but he's been questionable now for the last 3 weeks. Eventually he's got to play again.
Yeah, every week they're it should be Brock, and then the game comes, they're actually it's gonna be back. And I'm like, how does that keep happening?
Yeah. Maybe receivers could get back a little bit. That'd be nice for him as well.
Yeah.
Don't think there's anyone called the Red Rocket on the Niners or Texans, so we'll move on. They both wear red. They both do wear red.
Next game.
Color scheme. Another team that wears red occasionally. The New York Giants. They're taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Revenge game for Philadelphia after that Thursday night debacle in MetLife. Now the Giants got to make the trip to Philly. Chris, who do you got?
The Giants showed that they have no secondary. And the Eagles learned how to pass last week. I think this is a very good, favorable matchup for the Eagles for a revenge game. It's at home for the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me the Eagles. It is worry. If the Giants won last week, you could maybe talk me into another Giants upset. But the Giants this might kill the Giants season. That loss to the Broncos was so bad. Give me the Eagles.
Birds here, man. Revenge game. I don't think they're getting swept by the Giants in the division. Jalen Carter should play. He did not play that first game, if you remember. And I think there's going to be this sentiment from Vic Fangio that's going to say, look, this rookie ain't coming in here and doing it twice to us. So I think they're going to be very motivated at home. Crowd's going to be into it, especially because they lost the game in New York. So give me the Eagles.
Yeah.
Browns, Patriots. Dylan Gabriel coming off his first career win as a starter, taking on Drake May and them Pats.
Judkins looks great. Drake May looks better. Give me the Patriots. It's in New England. Dylan Gabriel, I think, I don't know where he's going to be at the end of the year, but I just think he's either going to be a bad starter or just a backup.
He's going to be a backup. He's going to be a backup.
I think he'll be a backup. And, for now you have to try it, but I don't think he's really shown anything to, make me worried at all. Jackson Dart in that one start showed more than Dylan Gabriel has yet all year. So give me the Patriots.
Yep, I'm with you here. I'll take the Patriots as well. I kind of feared this looking at all these games this week. I feel like we were going to take the same team basically in every game. There's not much continuity here, but maybe we could do it here. Bucks Saints, your upset pick, Chris. Are you taking the Saints? You are going to take the Saints to win outright?
I'm not just picking the spread. I'm picking the Saints to win.
There we go.
I think the Bucks have looked worse and worse. They've been pulling games out of their area. So, I think this is the time where they ran out of magic against the Lions because they were clearly talent outmatched. I think now you're going to go into New Orleans. You think you're going to be able to win this one, and they're going to, get surprised by a good New Orleans team.
Give me the Bucks. I feel bad. Mike Evans not going to get 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah, that stinks.
Yeah,
I drafted him in every single fantasy league I'm in, Adam.
You drafted him and Egbuka? That's a real
because
double
I thought
risk.
to myself, Mike Evans gets 1,000 yards every year. If he does that again, I want him on my team. And then I thought, if he's not going to do that, Ibuka's going to have all this opportunity. So I got Ibuka. And I thought maybe when Ibuka was great, if they're both playing together, but I will never see that really happen. But at
Yeah.
least I have Ibuka, but who wants to care? Who cares about fantasy team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colts Titans. You're going to take the Titans, right? In Indy.
Give me the
Big road
Colts.
upset. Oh.
If I had to pick confidence of any game all season, this would be my new number one. I might have said that in the past, but other games, this is my new number one. The Titans are terrible. They're truly bad. Last week, they kind of, disproved the new coach theory. Usually the new coach comes in and the team plays great. They played pretty good at the start against the Patriots. I'll give them credit for that, but the Patriots kind of smacked them. Vrabel got his revenge. Give me the Colts again this week.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, it's going to be a little closer than most people expect, though. I think second time these teams have played, so I think there's some familiarity there. I think the Titans make it a little closer than I think most people think. Most people are thinking this is going to be a complete blowout. I think the spread's like 14.5. But I think it could be close for a while here, as long as Cam Ward knows what color jerseys his team is wearing.
He might not.
That, yeah, if he knows what color they're wearing.
I've heard this mentioned in other podcasts. His hands are really small, and sometimes he just cannot grab or throw the ball. It just slips out of his hand.
Yeah, that was the Kenny Pickett problem.
But Kenny Pickett got a ton of attention about it, and he was a late pick. Cam Ward's the number 1 overall pick, and we're not talking about it as much.
Yeah, it's because he's on the Titans.
Yeah.
No one talks about the
But
Titans.
even before he was on the Titans, he's like, we were saying this, he's the least talked about number 1 overall pick, especially for a quarterback.
Yeah, because everyone kind of mentioned, like they said, there's a lot of these quarterbacks out there that are really happy. No one talks about the teams they're on. Like, not many people talk about the Cardinals in the national media, so no one talks about how bad Kyler Murray's been playing. Like, no one really talks about it.
Another one.
Yep, no one talks about how bad Michael Penix plays.
Primetime games, and Penix is barely getting talked about.
I know, like, they can play bad and no one cares. It's kind of the perfect place to be. Cam Ward's in that. I think people be worried, but they're going to be like, he had the worst coach in the NFL in a long time, so I think they're going to give him a little bit of a leash for a little bit. Cowboys, Broncos. Chris, this is your number 1 quarterback playing a struggling offense, a team that's tried to lose the last 2 games in the Broncos. Who do you got?
What scares me is every single team has been able to score in the Cowboys except for the Jets. So that makes me think the Broncos can figure it out, but their defense is really, really good. So I think the Cowboys have been stopped at times. I think the Cowboys defense is worse than how good the offense is, if that makes sense. So give me the Broncos.
Boo.
No, give
Christian.
me the Cowboys. I'm getting talked
you.
into it again. Did you talk me into it last week? You
yes,
did,
and it
right?
worked out for you. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, you're right. Give me the Cowboys to beat the Broncos.
Well, good, because we needed some variety in our picks. I'm taking the Broncos here. They're at home. I think the defense had a bad week last week, which normally means bounce back week for them. They are missing Dre Greenlaw, though. Big loss for them after, he was not a fan of the official after the game, who may or may not have shoved a player, and he went and chased him down and asked him what he was doing for dinner, and he's now going to be suspended for this game. So, but yeah, I'll take the Broncos here. I think their offense is able to play. I think maybe they figured something out in that fourth quarter against the Giants. So I'll take the Broncos here to get the win. Revenge game, Packers, Steelers, in Acrisure Stadium, also known as Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. The Packers make the trip to play Aaron Rodgers, playing his old team. He beat his old team earlier this year with the Jets. Does he do it again, Chris?
I really don't know what to do with this game because I feel like the Packers have all this talent. They look good the whole game, but the score is always just too close for my liking. And Rodgers has, with the Steelers, they kind of just win these random close games.
Long rest, too. Long rest. Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Packers. I don't feel good about it. I have no confidence in it, but give me the Packers. I think Micah looked really good. If Micah can get to Rodgers at all, make him uncomfortable, that's going to derail the whole season for him. Once Rodgers goes off the rails, it's done.
I'm going to take the Packers as well. I think this is the game where Aaron Rodgers and Arthur Smith butt heads because Micah Parsons is going to make a difference. And if he doesn't, Rashawn Gary's going to make a difference because they're shifting the entire protection to Micah Parsons. So I think the Packers get the win. Their offense, I mean, there's holes in that Steelers defense. Joe Flacco and them showed it. They're going to have to be able to attack it. I think Josh Jacobs might be able to get going on the ground. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Packers here. I think Micah has another huge day for the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, we can set up what we're doing on Monday. Joe Tooman, Packers fan, is going to be joining us. So I guess for content, it might be nice if the Steelers get the win. Last time he joined, it was a tie. He joined after
Yeah,
Packers
we had
Cowboys.
this huge thing about Micah back in Dallas, and the storyline was a tie occurred. It was crazy.
40-40 tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40-40 feels like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Alex Rodriguez, my pardon, other A-Rod, in his 40-40 serial I saw that the Fox crew brought out during their ALCS coverage. But last one here, Monday Night Football, Commanders, Chiefs. Before the season looked like a really big game, but Jaden Daniels is out. The injuries continue to mount up for the oldest team in the NFL. If I told you that before the season, Chris, that the oldest team in the NFL would be the Commanders and not the Chiefs, would you have believed me?
Listen, I saw a lot of things last year about how the Commanders are actually old. So, I mean, it's just the quarterback disguises the actual age of the group. But we're kind of seeing, what's funny is Daniels, who's young, is actually like one of the most injury-prone players on the team, which is kind of funny. But Mariota's shown that he's not terrible. But give me the Chiefs. I mean, this isn't a question. This is probably the second most confident I feel this week besides the Colts. Give me the Chiefs, not questioning it. Mariota, I think, might even look okay at the very best, but he's, especially against the Chiefs defense, no.
I'm surprised that this is your second most confident, because my first most confident in a landslide is Patriots over Browns. Like, in a landslide.
I just think the Browns defense is good. I don't think
That is true. That is true.
The Commanders don't really do anything good without Jaden Daniels, and the Titans don't do anything good either.
Yeah, that's true. That's
and
true.
The Colts right now are amazing, and then also the Chiefs right now are on fire. So,
but who is the resident Chiefs guy on this show? Who picked them to win the Super Bowl? This guy, Chiefs all day.
Listen, I was on. This was the first year I did not pick the Chiefs to win it all.
Maybe
in 4 years.
Maybe they'll set up a rocket in the Red Kingdom. Oh boy! Oh
Adam,
boy!
You gotta stop with the Red Rocket.
No,
man.
we're gonna keep it going. This is a running bit now every time.
I don't think this should be the running bit of a Red Rocket. I don't think this is the thing that needs to be the running bit.
Now, hey, we're gonna see a lot of rockets in Toronto and maybe Los Angeles.
All right, let's talk about stupid baseball. I'll let you talk. I mean, real quick, by the way, halftime between Warriors Nuggets. No one's been able to watch the whole first half because of the stupid Thunder game.
Same thing that happened for the Warriors Lakers.
Yeah, 70-61 at halftime. Looks high scoring affair so far.
Sounds like a Nuggets game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but, let's talk about your Blue Jays, Adam. They beat the Mariners in Game 7.
Awesome.
George Springer hits a home run to get the lead. You guys close it out. How do you feel about the World Series? Talk about your emotions during the Mariners thing, and feel about the Dodgers show. Hey, what are your chances like?
First of all, Mariners Game 7. I was dejected the entire game. They're down 3-1, but I kept saying, solo home runs you'll live with, because the offensive Blue Jays have them. Like, they just need to break through. They need to break through. They finally did. They get the two leadoff guys on in Barger and IKF. Jimenez lays down a great sacrifice bunt to get both in scoring position. I'm like George Springer, just find a gap, bring them both home, tie the game up. But, of course, George Springer now 23 postseason home runs. He's building up a great resume. He's been great, and he hits the big home run, and then Jeff Hoffman closes it out. Chris Bassett also came in to close it out, so it was great to see for the Blue Jays. First World Series appearance since 1993. The Mariners got exactly what they deserved after cheering George Springer going down with an injury after he got hit by a pitch. So all those Mariners fans, I would have felt bad for you, but you kind of asked for it. You poked the bear. George Springer's going to swing back. So that's exactly what he did. Looking at this World Series, obviously, I would say the Blue Jays are underdogs. They're playing the reigning World Series champs. They just swept the Brewers, who had the best record in baseball, pretty easily for the Dodgers. So they're coming into this one. But there have been 4 times that one team has swept the LCS and one team went to 7. The team that went to 7 has won the World Series every time.
You know when that happened? 2015, Mets versus Royals. Royals went to 7 against the Blue Jays, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And the Mets swept the Cubs, and then I remember I had like a week off. I was like, what am I supposed to do? The Blue Jays, or not the Blue Jays, the Royals came in hot, and then the Mets were like, oh, we've cooled off. So I was going to say that to you. That's probably, steal Game 1, Game 2 also at home. Try to get, if you're up 2-0, that's huge. LA is going to be a tough place to win in, honestly, but yeah, so Shohei was great last series, honestly. Like, Shohei just, What kind of bothers me is
Well,
that
hold up. He was not great last series. He had the greatest game ever, but he was not
he
great.
did.
He
My
played
issue with
horrible the
Shohei
first three
is
games.
I don't know if we talked about this, but like the whole betting thing with his interpreter,
Oh,
and then there
jeez.
was like another thing. Not that it's his fault, but like if it was anyone else, there would be a
Can we
lot
talk?
more
Can we
like
talk about the fact that that investigation was done in a day and a half, and this NBA stuff took 3 years? How'd
that's
that
what I'm
get
saying is
swept?
like the Shohei thing was really like I thought it was gonna be a huge deal, and it wasn't.
No.
And it just was kind of suspicious. And then there was another thing that he was like, whatever. Kawhi, with the aspiration thing, is going on like weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Shohei thing, the biggest star, like millions of dollars, betting on his games, they were like, yes, it was his translator kind of took advantage of him. And I'm like, guess we're just gonna believe
Yeah.
that with no.
Yep. No.
But
No
listen,
reason.
the
No
MLB's
reason to ask
looking
it.
for investigators on their LinkedIn page. I see
Yeah.
that all the time.
But yeah. So I think it's going to be a great series. The fan in me says Blue Jays in 6. But in all honesty, if I had to make a thoughtful prediction, I'd have Dodgers in 5. If I had to truly, if I looked on the rosters, that's what I'd say. Will say the Blue Jays' path to victory is what they've been doing. Got to get to the bullpen. Got to get these starters out. These starters were unbelievable in the Brewers series. You got to get to the bullpen. Prayers for Vesia. He had to step away from the team, him and his wife. A lot of people are reporting it could be something with the baby. She was pregnant. So obviously prayers to the family as he steps away. So obviously don't wish that on anybody. But you get to that bullpen, they haven't had to go to it much, so kind of untested bullpen for the Dodgers. So that's the game plan for the Blue Jays. Make contact, get on base, kind of single them to death, and then use the power. Vlad Guerrero Jr. quietly having, for some people quietly, because not many, he wasn't even ranked in the top 10 or an honorable mention from Fox Sports on the best players in the postseason. He's having maybe one of the best postseason runs ever. So, yeah, he's got to play great. Stars got to play great for the Blue Jays if they're going to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned the key is to get the Dodgers bullpen. That's their weakness. If you could get there, it's a whole new game. But if they just keep their starters in, you're kind of stuck. And their offense is 1 through 9 could kill you. So, tough for you guys. Wish you the best of luck. I cannot root for the Dodgers in any way.
But honestly, you're taking the Dodgers in 5, I'm assuming, as well, maybe 4.
Nah, give me the Blue Jays. I'm not gonna.
There
pick
we go.
I'm not picking the.
My official pick's Blue Jays in 6 because I can't. Plus, if the Blue Jays are going to win this, please do not win it in 4 or 5. I don't think you will, but if you don't win in 4 or 5, the Canadian fans deserve that moment if you're going to win it. Plus, today, for good mojo, today is the 32nd anniversary of Joe Carter's walk-off home run against the Phillies.
Nice.
To win the World Series. So,
I was going to say this real quick. George Springer could have been on the Mets. He did not, and it saddened me. And our center fielders this year were terrible. And then I had to watch him do that. I'm like, would have been nice to have someone.
He would not have helped you in the field. I'll tell you that. He's the DH for the Blue Jays.
Listen, we don't have any good fielders anyways in the outfield. We have Soto and Nimmo, and Springer would honestly, I mean, Mullins and Tyron Taylor are decent defenders or good defenders, but like they can't hit. So
Bo Bichette might be coming back this series. They was practicing in the field over at first base. I think they're going to play him at second. Would be my guess. Move Ernie Clement over to third. Maybe keep IKF at short. Put Barger out in right would be my guess how they shuffled the lineup. Maybe put Jimenez, keep him. I guess I'd put Jimenez at short. Would make more sense. Take IKF out of the lineup. Put Barger out in right. Maybe DH Bichette and put Springer out in the outfield. I don't know what they're going to do, but Bichette might be on the roster, which would be huge.
What also bothers me is Jimenez was on the Mets. He was a rookie, and he was amazing as a rookie. And I was like, wow, they really have something. They traded him and Rosario away for Lindor, and people were upset about Rosario because he was the top prospect. But I was like, Jimenez showed more in like that COVID season than Rosario. Jimenez, Gold Glove winners. Lindor has not won a Gold Glove.
Quietly, the reason the Blue Jays are in this spot, they were down for rights in Game 3, and he hit the 2-run home run to get him back in it and kind of ignite some light in the offense. So he's been big for them.
His average every year would lead the Mets in average. He's a great defender. He's played second base, and the Mets have been unable to find a second baseman. And obviously, I'm happy with Lindor, but I'm really bothered that we gave up Jimenez. It bothers me. He's made more All-Stars. He's had more Gold Gloves, and has had more playoff success.
Yeah, I feel like you'll live with Francisco Lindor. Knowing you,
I will. But like people look at that trade, I'm like, who we gave up? Like, if you just said hits 300, 3-time All-Star, Gold Glove winner, in the World Series, and Lindor's one-time All-Star, no Gold Gloves, and a NLCS is the highest. Obviously, I think Lindor is better. And Lindor last season, I wouldn't trade anything for his last year, 2024, was maybe the best season I've seen from a player as in my lifetime. That I'm sure David Wright might have had a season, but the impact Lindor had by himself was as high as anyone I've ever seen.
I hope it's not the best you'll ever see, because the jersey hanging up behind you better have a better season. With all the money you're paying him.
Okay, so Soto might be better, but it was the moments that Lindor shined in at the end of the year. The home run against Atlanta to send us to the playoffs. The home run against the Phillies, that grand slam. Against the Blue Jays last year, we're getting no hit, and then he ends up hitting that home run.
Ben Palillo was at the game. Ben Palillo
wins the whole game. We win, and we also needed every game to make the World Series, or to make the postseason. So
yeah.
I think Lindor's one season, just with the context of it, his play was great, but the impact was greater. But
my hope would be Juan Soto gets you a World Series.
Me too,
hope.
man.
But also, shout out Trey Savage, who's the Game 1 starter for the Blue Jays. Youngest starter in the World Series in 78 years. So, rookie, 22nd year, 22 years
old. The only sad part about this is, the World Series is on. And I feel like, they say baseball's more of a regional sport. The fact that baseball isn't, the lead topic of, the World Series, and, we talk about, Thursday Night Football first, or, the NBA, is just, weird. It's just weird, but I think that's kind of how it is there's more general people that care about Victor Wembanyama. There's more people who watch that than us talking about Blue Jays Dodgers.
That's the national media for you. They've kind of helped kill the sport. This is just how it works.
I watched that Montreal Expos doc on Netflix. It's pretty good. The only weird thing was...
I have a complaint because I watched that as well, but go ahead. I'll let you start.
my main complaint was I did not realize they were speaking French and they were talking over.
Dubbed, yeah.
And I'm my mom kept pausing the TV being why isn't the audio matching the video? I'm maybe they're speaking French?
Yeah, I did pause it the first time.
Yeah.
My one complaint was it's an hour and 30-minute documentary.
Yeah.
And the whole conclusion is Montreal ran out of money.
Yeah,
it was a long way to get to the end.
It could have been told so much faster.
Oh, yeah. That could have been a 50-minute documentary just on the new ownership. And
Netflix is doing that lately where it's this crazy thing happened. Let's tell you an hour of stuff that you don't actually need. And then in the last few minutes, we'll actually tell you. The Titanic or the Titan sub that would go into the Titanic that blew up. I'm watching. It was interesting in the beginning, and then in the middle, I'm we are just
I'm mad they skipped over the Montreal Royals part with Jackie Robinson and that. They just flew through that, how Montreal's been big in baseball forever. I'm that's awesome stuff.
The best part of the doc was talking about that '94 team with the lockout and how good they were with
Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, Larry Walker was on the team. I forgot about that. And Vladdy was there, Moises Alou was there, and it's wow, that team was loaded. And then whatever, that stuff was interesting. And then it's this owner came in, then this owner, and then this person, and I'm
then the baseball owned them for 3 years, and then they moved them to DC.
Yeah, and I was all right, I don't really feel bad they lost the team. My God, it was so boring.
I'm seeing a lot of push. I don't know. They said there's I don't think they're getting a team, a major league team, but I don't know maybe if, the Blue Jays are going to put a minor league team there. I don't know. But there's push there.
They couldn't really support the team, and I think, what they showed in that doc that was interesting was, it is different when it's in a different country. There's, more obstacles over there than here. They needed money for the stadium, and that government wasn't giving them the money, but that's what they do here.
It's not like America, yeah.
Yeah, so, that was interesting.
Yeah. But I know there's been a push for Vancouver to maybe get a team on the other side to get a Western Canada team.
I remember the talk was they wanted to have the Rays play some of the games in Montreal. Yeah, I remember that was a rumor a few years ago.
Yeah, the Rays might be. A lot of people think the Rays. Someone's going to move. A lot of people think. I saw a funny thing. So the Athletics posted a good luck to the Kings this season because they're in Sacramento. Someone said, in 3 years, is it just going to be screw you guys? Because they're not going to... I doubt we're getting a Kings tweet when they move to Vegas. I'm just saying. Probably because by the time they get to Vegas, we'll have a NBA team in Vegas would be my guess. So,
So the rumors were there was going to be this expansion to Seattle and Vegas, and then they're doing some European basketball league, and it's
Yeah.
like maybe that's taking over like the expansion instead of like that. They're just going to focus on this other league, and like I'd rather have two more NBA teams,
I think
honestly.
I think they're to the point where, when they expanded in the 90s, they were not ready to expand. Like they did not have enough good players. Now I think they have enough good players to make it work. Plus with the second apron, I think it'd make it really interesting.
I think it would make sense, especially with the second apron, because then you get more players making big
Mhm.
money. It kind of like makes this. Right now, there's too many good players; they can't all make the most
Yep.
money. Just the problem is they just made the new TV media deal and all that stuff, and like they all just figured out the money. If they add two new teams, that's going to be a whole other thing.
Yeah,
So
plus who knows where this investigation's going to go with the FBI. So I
my
guess it
my
could
other
get worse.
thing too is like I guess it was stupid of me to think this, but like I would like to think of the league as like these teams, these places. I don't want it to change. You know what I mean? Like I want basketball to be basketball, but I guess like it
I
changing.
want Seattle back. I want Seattle back.
But just like to me, like when I see, I'm like, I don't want it to change. I want it to be the same forever. But then I'm like, you know what? In Disney, they always say like it's never done. It's always changing and evolving. And I think
Mhm.
seeing the amount of good players, like it's really difficult for one player now because every team's so deep. I'm actually, you know what? I'd be fine if they expanded.
Yeah. Hey, that's how people in the 40s felt when, like the Dodgers and Giants left New York. You wouldn't have a team to root for if we didn't have change. 'Cause, the Mets were an expansion team.
I mean, part of the whole Montreal doc was like people like don't forget when the team leaves, they're devastated. Like they're still Dodgers fans in
The
New York.
worst, the
Brooklyn
worst
Dodgers.
one ever was Cleveland when they moved to Baltimore. That was bad because like Cleveland was the OG, one of the OG franchises. So like when they moved to Baltimore, that was ugly.
Well, I don't even know how to title this segment, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, we did this the other day talking about the baseball salary cap too. I think that was interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Big series
I
for
talked about that, and she was saying how there needs to be a salary cap because like the Mets paid
it's
more
hard.
than the Yankees,
It's hard
and I'm
to
like,
do.
and I told her like, I will never feel bad for the Yankees in the salary cap. Like,
Honestly, if you don't want the salary cap type thing, I think the best way to do Blue Jays win, and their path was we homegrowned a guy and just paid him to stay.
yeah,
Like that, there's a
I mean,
path
like,
there.
they brought in Springer, but like Vladdy was there.
Bichette.
You traded for Jimenez. You didn't like get him in free agency. You didn't buy him.
Bo Bichette, Trey Savage. If he has
Yeah.
a good World Series, he's a rookie pitcher. Like, there's ways to do it where you're not just like the Yankees and the Dodgers. They're just literally buying everything they want. Like, it's not like that, but there's ways to do it. And I think if the Blue Jays would win, hopefully they do. I think it would be maybe the Players Association ability to push back and say, see, all you have to do is pay the players you have, and then you don't have to worry about it because
Yeah.
So
I mean, the
there's gonna be
Red
a
Sox
path.
had Mookie Betts and they won. They
Yep.
had the homegrown talent. Then they
And then they
didn't
sold.
pay him.
Yep, and then they sold because that's classic Fenway Sports Group. They do it in all the Penguins have the same thing. So it's just what it is. We didn't even talk about hockey on this show, man. I mean, there's not much to talk about right
If you
now.
want to talk about hockey, you're more than welcome to bring on someone else to talk about hockey.
Not much to talk about right now. I'm going to a hockey game though this weekend, going to Elmira. So
Hockey
that'll be
started,
fun.
right?
Yeah, that's why I said we don't even talk about hockey. Hockey started before basketball, about 2 weeks before basketball,
I
October
know
8th.
hockey started. I was making a joke.
It's fun. The games are fun. The playoff hockey is awesome. Mostly because if you get the sudden death, it's kind of like baseball where like you're at the end of a game and it's like one goal changes everything. It's one of those. So.
I watched one random Stanley Cup game, and like I do care about like Connor McDavid. Like when there's someone like that I know, it's like LeBron. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, even as a casual, I'll watch him, look for him on the court.
Yeah.
And I think what's like on the ice, and I'll be like, oh wow! And the game went overtime. It was great. It was really exciting.
You have a casual guy you can root for starting next year. So there you go.
He's only gonna be at Penn State for 1 year.
Chris, he's gonna be the #1 pick in the draft.
But I
this
just
year.
don't know hockey. I don't know how hockey works.
Well, in college hockey, you can get drafted and then go to college if you want.
But then how long could they go to college for?
4 years. Same. You can be there as long as you want.
Or it could be 1 year.
Yeah, or you could just leave. Like once you get drafted, they can sign you up whenever. Like it's kind of like college basketball where you can go in and out. But college basketball now. No, there's something I can complain about. I'm not
I was
going
gonna say
to.
college. I think I'm like you have to play a year of college.
College basketball though, there was a guy in the G League that played 2 years in the G League and is now going to college. He's 21 years old and he's got 2 years eligibility. Tom Izzo was not happy about it. I'm not happy about it either. Like, what are the eligibility rules anymore? Diego Pavia's like 27 years old playing quarterback for Vanderbilt. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
It is a little weird, you know. Are you watching Chad Powers?
I have not started it yet, so I've been too busy. I've seen clips of it.
When the show's done, you have to binge watch it. So we could do a little mini review. We could do week 12 plus Chad Powers review.
I have a Chad Powers shirt because of Penn State.
I'll say this: you're gonna watch the show because I'm gonna make you. It isn't actually like good, but I do want to see the next episode. Like, I am excited when the episodes come out.
It's stupid funny, but you're invested.
It's not even that funny, honestly.
It's stupid, but you're invested. I have a lot of shows like that.
It's also weird because it's like the comedy's very goofy, so it's kind of kiddie. And then the last episode, there was a sex scene in a Cybertruck. Not that you could see anything.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's happening, I'm like, okay, well, I thought this was for 10-year-olds, and now it's pretty clear what's happening in that car.
I watched a show with an orgy in it this year, so don't know if I'm allowed to say that on our show, but it did.
You with the Red Rocket, now that, Adam, you gotta cool it. I mean, Game of Thrones alone, you could say a lot of things about.
You've seen a lot. Yeah, you've seen a lot.
No.
Yeah, but that's going to do it here for this episode. We've kind of gone off the rails a little bit, so I probably should try to get us out of here. But we have a lot. Oh, we didn't talk about Tony Vitello. Just want to shout him out. Tennessee's head baseball coach is now the manager of the Giants. First college baseball coach to go be a manager of an MLB team without any prior MLB experience. So shout out to him, Tony Vitello. Great coach for Tennessee. So that's a big fish in the sea now for college baseball. I work with college baseball, so I stay into that stuff. But yeah, but just thought we'd shout him out if we were talking about baseball. But that is going to do it here for this episode. Please like the channel, give a follow, subscribe, follow all the other stuff we have, Instagram, TikTok. Chris had a great video where Eagles fans are mad at him once again because he said Saquon was washed.
I did not say he was washed.
Man, but that's what I put as the headline, and it's really working.
You did. I saw that, and I thought to myself, if I posted it, it wouldn't get as many views because I would not be willing to say he's washed.
I put question mark. I didn't say he was, so that question mark is a lot of heavy lifting.
I'm saying he's washed. Oh my god, it scared me. I'm trying to find it, but yeah, no, I'm gonna get yelled at by Eagles fans for
It hasn't been too bad. Actually, all it's been is actually people arguing in the TikTok comments about if he actually is, and if it's the offensive line's problem.
Just highlight to me. You mentioned this Eagles video when I said the Rams are better than them, even though the Eagles won. 30 likes, 70 comments. That's the greatest achievement I've ever received.
There's no dislike.
Take time out of their day to comment, but not like it. Oh, that makes me laugh.
Imagine the dislike button if there was one on TikTok for that. Ooh.
I was gonna say, Adam, we need to, one episode when you do a mean comments reading, and just really go in on that.
We'll wait till the end of the year when the Broncos have a winning record and make the playoffs, and we'll just wait for them to all come back, and that'll be a fun one.
I have a whole bunch of ideas written down. Get ready for us reading mean comments. This will be Eagles for me and Broncos for Adam.
That'll be our Christmas present for the fans. So that's what we'll do.
We could do We'll see. I mean, Christmas we should be happy, but I don't want to read comments calling me stupid.
New Year's. We'll start New Year's in a bad mood.
Should be Halloween, scary comments.
Well, Halloween's next week, bud.
Have any Halloween costumes?
We actually post on Halloween. I haven't thought what I'm going to wear yet. Initially, I was going to dress up as Jimmy Olsen from Superman. I'll dress up my dog as Crypto.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Halloween is when? Next Friday?
Week? Yeah, we'll post on Halloween.
So we'll post, about the day before.
We'll do a Halloween-themed episode.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll have some fun with it.
Well, you see, in this podcast, once we hit an hour, we kind of just break open and we could go. But we could wrap it up now. But
I basically did. So I don't have to do the whole, like the channel, follow us on TikTok, Instagram. Make sure to like the YouTube shorts. We post all of them there. Suggest the podcast to a friend. We're just trying to grow it. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We're open.
Listen, the basketball videos. If you guys like basketball, I mean, that was our most viewed video.
We'll talk more. Sometimes I'd rather prefer to talk about basketball. I'm basketball
honestly,
guy.
Going into this year, I was kind of NBA'd out because 2 years
Yeah,
ago
but
was
then Sketch didn't invite you to the fantasy basketball league, and you got all upset about it.
it sparked the basketball. I mean, 2 years ago, I grinded out the NBA like a job. I was watching as much as possible on
What? It was
streamies.
a job, wasn't it?
Not really.
I thought you were cutting shorts for an account during that
Oh
time.
yeah, no, but like that wasn't even related to that. This was just me for my own like enjoyment. No, last year though, when I was in Disney, I was barely watching basketball. So like I took like a year away after my most intense year. Now I'm back full all in.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, we're back. Basketball's back. There's going to be a lot of good games, but of course, football, staying with it. So, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Hopefully, you have a great weekend.